Hello, how is everyone doing today? Because it is a very special day. It's Christmas Day, week 1 of the NFL season. I don't know about you, Ish, but I am very excited. I'm so excited, I can't do my intro right now because it's Christmas Day for a grown man like myself and you, Ish.
Yeah, it is. I mean, whew, it's been a long time coming. It's been a
We're
long
finally
time
here,
coming.
baby.
It's
Finally
finally here.
here. Yes,
Excited,
sir.
man.
Week 1, let's get right into it. Of course, as always, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast so we can have more people tune in and we can talk some more football with y'all. If you are on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page at XTalknIsh. Make sure you also hit that notification bell. Thank you very much for that, Ish. And also, like I said, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you like our Facebook page. And if you are on Twitter, please make sure you follow my Twitter page for our Periscope version of this feed at X_Williams81. And also as well, hey, before we get on to the topics at hand, don't forget about that merch, baby. Don't forget about the merch. We do have the merch out now, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that link in the comment sections and, of course, in the description moving forward to YouTube videos and other videos moving forward as well. Alrighty then, Ish. Like I said, of course, in the intro, hey, we're finally here, week 1. Of course, the season started off with the Cowboys Buccaneers, and if you join us on Tuesday night, we will, of course, recap that game and the rest of the NFL slate on Tuesday. But for now, we are going to preview the games for this upcoming day and also Monday Night Football as well. We're going to go ahead and start off with the hometown team, the Houston organization that we formerly known as the Texans, playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Go ahead and get it started with.
Yeah, this is going to be a bore. Nobody wants to watch the organization that is down here in the city of Houston. But I definitely have the Jaguars winning this one. I just think that the Jaguars have a better chance of being more explosive, having those explosive plays on offense. I do think that defense is pretty decent. They made a big signing in the offseason by getting Shaquille Robinson, the twin, the corner.
Yes.
I didn't want to be offensive and say the one with 2 hands. But but yeah, I just think the Jaguars have a little bit more than the Texans at this time. I just don't have faith in Tyrod Taylor and this receiving core at the moment. They might come out and shock me. They got all these running backs, but you got to be able to run the ball. So it doesn't matter if you have 10 running backs, 20 running backs. You got to be able to run the ball. And last year, the running just wasn't quite there. David Johnson didn't do as much. Maybe Phillip Lindsay, maybe Mark Ingram brings a little bit more. But yeah, to me, it's just the Jaguars.
Now let's think about this, though. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about this year. Last year, the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't have Trevor Lawrence. They have Trevor Lawrence this year. Texans, 4 wins on the season last year. I have them having at least 5 wins on the season because they will win week 1 of this season, this game, because I feel like with everything that was going to be going on with Jacksonville in the offseason, in the preseason, and before the season even starts, Urban Meyer has put I feel like just a little bit of a black cloud around this organization, not because of him. It's because of the organization done to himself, but because of Urban Meyer coming in and doing some of the things that he has done in the last couple of months. I feel like it's going to be a distraction and it's going to be something that's going to linger throughout this whole season. I think the Texans are not as bad as what people think that they are. And this game, we are going to see that for ourselves because if they cannot beat the Jaguars at home, it's going to be an ugly year. It's going to be a real ugly year because if you cannot beat this team at home, hey, you might want to enjoy these 2 or 3 wins that y'all going to get this season. Yeah. So, that's pretty much all I have to say on that one. This game, Ish, you have anything for us?
No, man.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and move along with a very, very interesting and I think underrated game, the Chargers versus the Washington football team. And the reason why I bring that up, and I'll just go ahead and have my little spiel right quick, is because the LA Chargers are traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast. We do know how teams that travel from coast to coast, how it does affect them going from either the West Coast to the East Coast or vice versa. So for the Chargers, I did take that into account. But I also feel like because with the Chargers, they're trying to take this next step and having people believe that they can be a contending team, especially in the AFC. I honestly feel like the Chargers are going to pull off this win against the Washington football team, but it's going to be very, very close-ish.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of torn on this one. I really do like the Washington football team. I like their defense. I like what they do. I like the addition of Ryan Fitzmagic. To me, it really just kind of came down to the fact that the Chargers are getting some guys back that they didn't have last year, so I expect an uptick from them. And then I also expect a breakout season from Justin Herbert. I think he's going to have a breakout sophomore season. I think we're going to see something similar to Josh Allen in Buffalo. I think he's learned a little bit, only 10 interceptions last year. So, I mean, I think that you're going to see this guy take another step forward. I actually have this team, to me, making the playoffs. I think that they are going to give the Chiefs a run for their money in the West. Not necessarily like pushing them to the last week of winning the division, but I definitely think they'll keep the pressure on them just because of the play of Justin Herbert, and I do expect this defense to step up. So yeah, I just had the Chargers barely edging out Washington football team. It's not an indictment against the football team. I do like them a lot, and I expect a lot from them this season, but I just think that the Chargers in this one have the edge for me.
Now, the only thing that's going to happen if the Washington football team does lose, correct? We're going to have to hear these Cowboy fans.
Oh, my gosh. No.
I'm just letting you know.
The Cowboys lost anyway.
This is correct, but they're going to be talking. I'm just letting you know. So we have to watch out for the Cowgirl fans. All right, let's go ahead and get on to another great game. Very underrated game, I think, because we get to see both of these teams of this year with, of course, the new Colts with Carson Wentz, and also the Seattle Seahawks with, besides, of course, having Russell Wilson, their new, I guess you could say, their new era of football with Russell Wilson and what they're trying to rebuild over there in Seattle. Ish?
Yeah, very much a rebuild, kind of somewhat in Seattle. That defense is going to look a lot different than it's looked in the past. I don't expect it to be a top-notch defense like it has been in the past. I expect it to be somewhere in the middle of the road, be okay. Especially in that division that they've got. I do have the Seahawks winning this one, only because the Colts, to me, well, number one, Carson Wentz as a starter is 0-4 versus the Seahawks. So it doesn't bode well for him. And then he's coming off an injury, didn't get preseason time. He was looking okay in camp before the injury. So I don't have a lot of faith in Carson Wentz in that offense. The defense, I do expect to put pressure on Russell Wilson, but I mean, he's a mobile guy. He gets out of the pocket. He does a lot of damage out of the pocket. You got to match up with DK Metcalf. They're always strong at running the ball. To me, I just think that the Colts have a couple of question marks still going into this first game that need to be solved, and it's just too much to pick them right now. I think the Seahawks are going to be the ones winning this one. I expect maybe by 2 scores or so.
Wow, that's a very bold prediction there, Cotton. Let's see how that works out. The reason why I say that is because, of course, I did pick the Colts. And I'm not picking the Colts because I actually want them to win. I'm picking the Colts because I just feel like overall as a team, they are a better complete team. Not talking about just quarterback. I'm not talking about quarterback position or wide receiver. I'm not talking about just as a team overall. I think I trust the Colts more, especially being at home, than I do Seattle. I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly when it comes to Carson Wentz coming off of injury, and are we even going to be able to see him play 17 games? I definitely agree with that. But it kind of reminds me of what we just saw on Thursday Night Football with Dak Prescott. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm saying what you just said as well when it comes to Carson Wentz coming off an injury. Is he even going to be able to play well? Is he even going to be able to do A, B, and C? We don't know yet, right? We don't know until about an hour and a half when this game kicks off. And I think hopefully for Carson Wentz, they're going to keep the playbook very simple. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play great defense. And I think the Colts squeaked this one out by a field goal and beat the Seahawks because you over here talking about blowing 14 points, you said, right?
I said a 2 score, so it could be a touchdown and a field goal.
Okay. So
possibly.
This is going to be an interesting game to watch for too. I like this matchup, and it's going to show a lot for both of these teams. Again, these are just week 1 matchups. It doesn't mean that the winner or loser of these week 1 matchups are going to make the Super Bowl or not. It's just one of a marathon that we're going to have in this NFL season. All right. Speaking of marathons, where they run, of course, the New York Marathon, the New York Jets versus the Charlotte Panthers, I like to call them. No, I'm just kidding. Carolina Panthers. Now, this is another very interesting game as well, too, Ish, because this is a a revisit game for Sam Darnold when it comes to seeing his old franchise coming into his new franchise and playing against them. So this is one of those games that I'm pretty sure Sam Darnold is going to want to have to show out. And Ish, go ahead, take this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely calling this game Sam Darnold's revenge. I see that you got the Jets winning this one, which I kind of thought was surprising to me, only because there are a number of factors that just lean this one towards the Carolina Panthers. One being that Jets defense was in the bottom part of the league last year. I think they were ranked 24th in total yards last year defensively. Now they're good against the run because they are ranked 12th in rushing yards as a defense. However, Christian McCaffrey does so many things outside of just running the ball, right? Like he is a threat outside of the out of the backfield, catching the ball out of the backfield. They do have some weapons in Carolina on the outside. You've got Robbie Anderson, who also was a former Jet. You have Moore. You have a couple of guys. Terrace Marshall, the rookie, has been doing really well from LSU. So Sam Darnold has some weapons at his disposal, and I do expect for him to be looking to embarrass the Jets defense, only because, everybody knows the story of Sam Darnold and the Jets and the long history that they have. So I just think that this Carolina offense is going to be able to do a little bit too much to this Jets defense, not to mention Zach Wilson, first start in the NFL, first regular season game. I just don't know. Although I was very high on him in the preseason, and I still am very high on him, I just think for a rookie coming in to play this Carolina defense, I'm kind of concerned that they're going to show him a little bit too much. They're going to get some pressure on him. And while I think he will do well, I don't think he'll have enough to beat this Carolina team.
Ish, I love your take. I love everything you just said because from a logical point of view, you're correct. But from my logical point of view for the Jets, I look at the complete opposite when it comes to, yes, this should be Sam Darnold's revenge game. Robbie Anderson, revenge game as well. But for some reason, just like you said about what we've seen with Zach Wilson, we've talked about it in the preseason before when we seen Zach Wilson out here slanging that thing, right? He out there hashtag slanging that thing.
Yeah,
and I'm not about to jump off the wagon just yet because I think not just with Zach Wilson, but with also the head coach Robert Slay. This is the weekend of 9/11. The reason why he went into coaching anyways was because of what happened in 9/11. And I think he takes that momentum and translates it into a victory for the New York Jets and that New York community as well, because of not just everything that's going on, but because I also think he's going to be a pretty dang good coach. I also want to get to this comment right quick from our boy Lee, because I love this and I definitely agree with you as well on this. Lee says, my bold fantasy take for the year, Corey Davis finishes top 10 fantasy wide receiver. Wilson's going to have to sling it all year. Definitely agree on that. If you do check out, if you did check out some of the preseason games, Corey Davis, of course, is his number one receiver. And he was getting him his targets, way more targets than he was getting here in Tennessee. So with that being said, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they develop as a group on the offensive side of the ball. I think, if anything, the Jets win this game, but they might have a rocky season moving forward to where it could be a 5 to 6 win, season. But for this game, I think they win. Go ahead, say what you got to say.
I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I agree with Lee that I think Corey Davis is going to have a great year because Wilson will have to sling it all year. But the problem is the reason why he's going to have to sling it all year is because they're going to be behind because they're not going to be playing from a position of being in front. They're going to be behind a lot. I do expect an improvement on this defensive side because, like you said, the hiring of Robert Slade as head coach, I expect him to step up and, he's a defensive guy. He was really good in San Francisco. I love what he did with that San Francisco defense. So I expect him to be really strong and grow throughout the year. But I think starting the year, you got to remember, I mean, this is the first game of the season. You're a team that you're building, right? You picked second in the draft for a reason because you were not very good. And I expect them to continue to be not very good. I think that they will step up a little bit, but not against this Carolina team. This Carolina team is a really good team. Even with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm last year, you've got to remember they were in a lot of those games last year and they lost by one possession. So to think that this Carolina team that was very competitive last year with Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterback is going to take a step back or lose to a Jets team that was, they're building, but they're not quite there yet. I just don't see that happening. I don't think Sam Darnold is a downgrade at quarterback. I actually think he's an upgrade to Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, which is why I just think that Carolina, they have to win this game. If Carolina loses this game, to me, that is a bad omen for the season.
I agree on that. I agree on that. But one thing we cannot do is we cannot put so much stock into week one. Every team. Yeah. So I agree with you though. This is a game that the Panthers should win. Yeah, they should win. They are supposed to win, maybe even expected to win. But I think the Jets come in and still win. That is all. I got a little rumbly in my tumbly that make it feel like the Jets gonna do a little something. I'm just saying. All right, let's get to the comment section right quick. Lauren Hill from North Carolina. She says she's here. She says she is a Carolina fan, and she also says you're right. I don't know if she meant to Ish or to me, but I'm pretty sure she's probably talking to Ish because you was talking about, of course, the Panthers. We appreciate you, Ms. Lauren Hill. If you got a chance for us, go ahead sing us one of your songs. I know you out here singing a little something over there. All right, let's go ahead and go to the Vikings and the Bengals. Ish, go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, Vikings and the Bengals. I think this one all comes down to quarterback play, as most of the games in this league do. But I think it's a tale of two stories, right? You got a guy that is the face of the franchise coming back from a horrific knee injury, and I just can't pick the Bengals. I can't pick the Bengals. Your top pick has been dropping balls all preseason. Joe Burrow, you got to keep him up. This Vikings defensive line is really good. They get pressure on the quarterback. I expect for them to bring the house a lot against Joe Burrow to test out that offensive line and to test out the knee, quite frankly. I also think that Kirk Cousins, this is a make or break year for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has got to play well this season, or they are going to be looking at maybe Kellen Mond later in the season, or next year, depending on where they are, they might be looking for a quarterback in the draft in the early rounds. So to me, I just think Kirk Cousins, he knows his back is against the wall. He knows he has to perform. You got Dalvin Cook there. You got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is very good. I think that the Vikings, they are going to come out, they're going to win this game, and they're going to try to use this to build some momentum because they need everything that they can get as far as in that NFC North with the Packers. They got to try to keep the pace with the Packers. So it'll be important for them, like I say all the time, you win the games that you are supposed to win. That's how you make the playoffs. That's how you become a championship team in this league, is by winning the games that you're supposed to win. And this for them is the game that they're supposed to win. They have to win this game. It is a easy W, or it's supposed to be easy W. There are no easy W's in the NFL, but it's as close as you get to one, right? So I expect them to go out and win, even though I don't have faith in Kirk Cousins long term.
Everything you said is correct, Ish. Just to add on to that, the Vikings go on not Kirk Cousins, they go on Dalvin Cook. So yeah. No, I'm just That's being completely serious. I mean, Dalvin Cook has to be the one that takes this Vikings team to where they need to be. And Kirk Cousins have to be the game manager that he is. Nobody that I know that watches football thinks Kirk Cousins is Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes. So Kirk Cousins be Captain America and be a game manager and let Dalvin Cook run 25 times for 180 yards, because that's the only way the Vikings are going to be able to be in contention with the Green Bay Packers in that division. Like you said, this is a game that you're supposed to win. If they do not win this game, I'm gonna let everybody know right now. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuttal what I just said about the previous game when it comes to Week 1 matchup. No, if the Vikings lose this game, just go ahead and scrap the season. Go ahead and scrap the season for them. I'm tired of watching them. I'm tired of looking at Kirk Cousins. I'm tired of everything you have to do in Minnesota. Stop. Restart all over again. Might as well go get Randy Moss to go coach wide receivers. Go get Chris Carter too. Go get John Randall to coach the defensive line, because whatever y'all doing in Minnesota, it's just not working. It's just not working. You thought it was gonna work with Kirk Cousins, and like you said, if this isn't working, if this isn't going to work, then y'all need to go ahead and just scrap it and move forward. Either, like you said, transition over to Kellen Mond to be your dual threat quarterback moving forward, or go get you a dual threat quarterback in the draft, because that is what the league is transitioning to, and that is being able to have a quarterback that can do a little bit of everything. Alrighty then. Speaking of quarterback that can do a little bit of everything, the Cardinals and the Titans, Mr. of course, Cali Murray, as Aqib Talib would say, versus Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. Is go ahead and start us off, play by.
Yeah, to me, it comes down to defensive play, which is funny to say because you got Cliff Kingsbury as the head coach of one of the teams, and we know Cliff Kingsbury is all about offense. But I think it comes down to whose defense steps up and does what they're supposed to do. A lot of people know that the Arizona Cardinals defense last year was one of the top defenses in the league. They were ranked 13th in yards, in total yards. However, they were ranked 22nd in total yards when it comes to rushing yards. So that to me is a bad situation when you're going up against these Tennessee Titans, because you do have the King Derrick Henry in the backfield, and now you have the addition of Julio Jones that you got to be concerned with out on the edge. So to me, it's just going to be, can they stop the run? I don't know. I think that they'll do a good job against the pass, but if they can't stop the run, that opens up play action, which creates a huge problem for Arizona. That's what I'm expecting to see. But from an Arizona standpoint, this Tennessee Titans secondary was not very good last year. They were poor, and Arizona's their strength is passing the ball. Kyler Murray getting out there, running from side to side, looking like a little toddler that you can't catch, and slanging the ball left and right and over the middle. That is their strength. So if they can come out and they can, get matchups that they like, do what they like to do, as far as spreading the formation out, spreading the defense out, hitting dink and dunks, and then hitting them with a big shot over the top, then yeah, Arizona can definitely win this game. But I just don't see it happening. I see Tennessee getting up early and then just running them to death, because that is the Tennessee MO, right? You get up early and then you run them to death. And if Derrick Henry, as we all know, the record, I think they only have one loss when Derrick Henry rushes for over 100 yards. So I'm expecting him to rush for over 100 yards against this Arizona defense. I think it's a win for the Titans.
I'll take those stats any time of the day, baby. When it comes to rushing over 100 yards, I'll take that any day of the week. And, of course, I did not pick them because I'm a homer. I picked them because it's the best pick to make. Duh. But seriously, though. What I want to see is how this Cardinals defense is able to defend this Titans offense. Because, like we've talked about before, you can't put 8 in the box anymore. You can't put 7 in the box. And guess what? If you don't put, and the crazy thing is, if you don't put 7, then Derrick Henry's going to run all over you. You can't double A.J. Brown. You can't double Julio. So what are you going to do? What it sounds like to me is as a defense coordinator, you're going to have to do a lot of mixing and confusing of Ryan Tannehill. You're going to have to bring different types of blitzes, different zone blitzes to confuse him and also confuse the Titans offense. The Titans offense is going to the season with a new offensive coordinator. Of course, Arthur Smith is in Atlanta, and that is something to watch out for too. I was just listening to ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown, and they were talking about, and I definitely agree with them. With the new offensive coordinator, are you going to keep it simple and do what has gotten y'all here? Are you going to mess things up? And because you have Julio and some more new toys, are you going to try to do too much? And I hope we do not have to and try to do too much, because we don't have to. Like you said, if we have a beast back there to where you give him the ball 20 times, they're going to have to come up. Once you come up, quick double move to AJ Brown, that's a touchdown. A slant to Julio Jones, that's a 30-yard catch, and we keep the chains moving. So I just hope for the Tennessee Titans offense, you keep everything simple, you play your game, and you should win this game by at least 2 scores ish.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go to the comment section right quick from Lee. He says Isaiah Simmons gonna have to live up for them to even have a 1% chance of stopping them. He's talking about his hype. No, and I definitely agree with Ish. I love the pick period from the Cardinals last year when they got Isaiah Simmons. I thought he was somebody that was going to be able to transition easily into the NFL defensive wise, because he was somebody that can play multiple positions. But last year he had an okay season, right? It wasn't something that was a season that we can say, yeah, that guy's going to be that next brute force on defense. This season, I think he's going to have to step his game up and have to show folks that he was worthy enough of that first round pick. All right, let's go ahead and move on to should be a kind of a sleeper of a game here. Ooh, 49ers and the Lions. Whoever matched this one up, y'all. Why y'all do the Detroit Lions like that? Ish, go ahead, start us off.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing when I saw the matchup. I was like, oh man, this is not good. And I know I'm gonna reference last year's stats again.
We ain't talking about last year.
Hey, I know we're
no
not
more
talking
last
about
year stuff,
but it is the first game of the year, so you can only go off of what they did last year
Touché.
and the additions that they have made.
Touché.
And all I can say for Detroit Lions defense, the dead last ranked defense in the NFL. They didn't really make any additions that I was excited about. You were dead last, and now you're facing the San Francisco 49ers, who get back a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, a healthy Deebo Samuel, a healthy Brandon Ayuk. I mean, the list goes on and on. This team, really, it's the return of the 49ers.
It's the return of the Mac.
Because, man, they are locked and loaded. That this is a team that is healthy this year so far. You're going to have to keep your fingers crossed, because we all know an injury can happen at any second. But against this Detroit Lions team that really, I think they're just kind of building. They're looking towards the future. Jared Goff is going to be in for a rough one. He's going to have a long season on his hands. There's really not much you can say other than 49ers going to win this one. Easy.
It's not too much really to speak on. Like you said, Ish, you said everything that needed to be said. The one matchup that I will say that I will want to watch out, and shout out to Uncle Jason for this one, Nick Bosa versus rookie offensive lineman Sene Pule.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the NFL, sir. That is not something that I want to have to deal with my first NFL game, but we will be praying for you, sir. Alrighty then. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Who knows? Maybe the Lions can do what college football has been doing since yesterday when it comes to all these crazy upsets. Maybe the Lions can pull it off. I doubt it. That's just me. All right. Steelers and Bills. This is very interesting because if we all remember last season, Ish, you spoke about last season, the Steelers started off 11-0. Let's start off 11-0, got to the playoffs, lost in the first round to the Browns. This season, looks like they're going to be starting 0-1. And the reason why is because it looks like the Buffalo Bills are going to take care of business from my perspective and also Ish's perspective. And when's the last time, maybe mid-90s? When's the last time that both of us have probably agreed that the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? It sounds like things are changing in the NFL. Not saying the Steelers are trash. Not saying the Steelers aren't a good team. I just honestly think the Bills are a better team, both sides of the ball. And with the Steelers, they can always think and feel like everything is fine But like you talked about with the last topic that we talked about, one injury could change this whole team. Honestly, for the good or for the bad. And I'm speaking, of course, Big Ben Roethlisberger, because there are a lot of question marks on Dwayne Haskins. A lot of people that feel like he's still trash. He shouldn't even be there. Shouldn't even be on the NFL roster. And there's some people that feel like Dwayne Haskins is the next guy to take the throne, or I should say, take the torch, I should say, from Big Ben and be the next Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Ish, how do you feel about what I just spoke on?
I think that if you're a Steelers fan, you're praying that Big Ben is able to make it through the entire season, and you don't have to go to Strip Club Haskins.
Here you
but
go.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you. He's not ready right now. He's gonna get there potentially. I do think that he is likely the quarterback of the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the moment, unless they go and they decide to draft somebody else later on down the line. But as of right now, Mike Tomlin has selected him as the guy to take over for Big Ben when he's done. So you're hoping that's the future and not this year, because he's not ready at this time. As for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills in this game, I think that this game is actually a game I'm excited about. These are two really good teams. You got the number 2 offense from last season versus the number 3 defense from last season. So that is going to be really fun to watch. I want to see what Josh Allen is able to do against this defense. And if you remember and you recall, the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers wasn't necessarily that their defense wasn't playing well. It was that you weren't able to run the ball, number one. And number 2, you had a ton of drops from these receivers. I mean, they were dropping the ball left and right towards the end of the season, and they weren't helping Big Ben out. So if they are able to turn that around, you got Najee Harris, who you just drafted in the first round. If you can run the ball with him a little bit, although that offensive line, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yes, sir.
And if you're able to catch the ball, Chase Claypool, we're looking for a big season from him this year. Juju Smith-Schuster, you returned back to just for a little contract. You're hoping to turn that into a big contract.
Turn them TikToks into a contract.
Hey, you're hoping that he's going to show out this year. So we're going to wait and see. I think they drafted Pat Freiermuth or whatever, the tight end from Penn State. So, yeah, you're hoping that some of these offensive moves and some of these guys are able to step up this year and help Big Ben out, because he does need that help. But for me, that Buffalo defense is pretty solid. You got Josh Allen coming back, who, I mean, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. They're still trying to figure it out at running back. But I just think there's too much going in the favor of Buffalo for me to pick Pittsburgh. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh somehow finds a way to win this game, but I just think that Buffalo is going to win it.
No, I definitely agree with you on that last part, though. I mean, unfortunately, it's the Steeler way. You know, the Steelers always going to find a way to make it to the playoffs or win a game they ain't supposed to. It's just what the Steelers do. So I agree with you on that, but this is a game that I think the Bills should win. All right, Battle of the Birds in Atlanta. The Eagles versus the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons. Looks like we are split on this game, and I love it because really this game could go either way. I mean, it's two mediocre teams. Both teams really ain't playing. I mean, they ain't going to play for the division. They ain't winning the division. So I think it's one of those games that this is a good measuring test for both of these teams. And I was going to pick the Eagles if they were at home. If they were at home and they were playing this game, I probably would have picked the Eagles. But because they do have to travel, it's a little trip to Atlanta, I feel like because of what Atlanta has with Matt Ryan, and I know Matt Ryan might give people eye rolls and people don't care about the MVP anymore. I got that. But because of what Matt Ryan has done for that Falcons organization, they are coming into that game a little bit more comfortable than the Eagles are with Jalen Hurts. Because let's be real, the Eagles as an organization still don't even believe in Jalen Hurts. I think on the outside looking in, I think the Eagles just wait. They're just waiting for something to happen to Hurts to be like, all right, we got to go ahead and get another quarterback. There we go. That saved us. We didn't want him to go out here and do an Aaron Rodgers this season and have to force us to keep him. So that's what I feel with the Eagles is if they're not all in on Jalen, this season is going to be a very it's going to be a very rocky season for the Eagles. Ish.
I did consider the fact that Atlanta was at home. However, I just think there are more question marks on the Atlanta side, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, yeah, you got Matt Ryan back, but then that backfield completely different than what it has been the past couple of years. Completely different this year. You got Mike Davis, I think, is your lead back that you have going in, and not to mention they cut the backup, his backup, and just signed a guy recently to be the backup. So it's like, it's telling me that room, you're not confident with what you have in that room, or at least not what's behind Mike Davis. So that question mark is out there. Also, there's the question mark of replacing Julio Jones, right? Calvin Ridley, yeah, he's good. He's a stud. But then you need the rest of the guys to step up, because it has been Julio and Calvin for the past couple of years. So now it's like, well, you got Calvin and you got who's stepping up? You got Russell Gage. I mean, who is stepping up in that spot?
Mr. Kyle Pitts, sir. Mr. Do It All. That's rookie. I'm calling it right now. That's rookie of the year for me. Now, I'll say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was going to say that until Zach Wilson and even Mac Jones, but they're going to touch the ball every down. Yeah, so it's hard.
Come on.
Exactly. So it's hard for me to pick Kyle Pitts to be offensive player of the year for rookie wise, because he's not going to touch the ball every play unless he's 150 yards, a touchdown or two every game. Then of course, we can definitely put him up there. But it's really dependent on Mac Jones and Zach Wilson for me when it comes to rookie of the year. Maybe if Justin Fields is able to get in week 2, week 3, week 4, and he's able to play the whole season, maybe we could throw him in there, of course. But I believe in Kyle Pitts. I love me some Kyle Pitts. I of course watched him since Florida. Freaking nature. A tight end should not be able to run routes that well, should not be able to be that fast, should not be able to jump that high. He is going to be the next evolution of tight ends in the league. We, of course, have seen it with Travis Kelce and with George Kittle and Darren Waller. Kyle Pitts is the next generation of what tight ends are going to be, and it is scary. It really is.
My only problem with that, and why I'm a little skeptical about the Atlanta offense, is that you named all these great tight ends, right? But who are the pieces around them? They've all got pieces around them that help them to do those things. Travis Kelce, you got Tyreek Hill. They've even come out and said, like, you can't have one without the other, right? So for me, I just think that Kyle Pitts, yeah, if you're able to get him to step up and make some sort of impact, it helps relieve the pressure on Calvin Ridley. It helps relieve the pressure on Matt Ryan and on Mike Davis, who's got to step in and have this running game. But I just don't see it. I don't see the running game being that good. I don't see Kyle Pitts making that much of an impact right now, right off the bat. I would love for him to prove me wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I think it's a hard transition into the league at receiver and tight end. Not as much at tight end, but I think they're going to play him as pretty much a big slot receiver.
Yeah,
is what I see them playing him as, and I just don't see him having that impact that they need him to have. And for the Eagles, I think they have a lot of decent pieces. They have a lot of big play threats on that offensive side. You got Quez Watkins, you got Jalen Reagor, now you got Devonta Smith. You pair him with like Miles Sanders, you pair him with Jalen Hurts. That offense has the pieces in place. Are they able to put it together and perform? We'll have to wait and see. That defense still shaky. So that's why I don't expect much from the Eagles this season. But I do think the Eagles are going to beat the Falcons. I just don't like anything I see from the Falcons right now at the moment.
And shout out to KC. He says, don't sleep on Najee Harris for Rookie of the Year as well. I agree with you on that one, KC. He will get a lot more touches than of course, Kyle Pitts. All right, let's go ahead and speed it up just a little bit. We have Browns versus Chiefs, and it looks like we are all on the Chiefs. Ish, go ahead and give us your spiel.
Yeah, I just see too much from the Chiefs. I see an improved offensive line. I see the same offensive pieces that are very deadly. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back. I do expect some pressure from the Browns defensive line, but nothing like in the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. And I think in order to be successful and slow this offense down, you've got to be able to get pressure with the front four and just the front four, not bringing extra pieces, because if you're bringing extra players and you're bringing the blitz in, that just creates more space in the middle for Travis Kelce, more space in the middle for Tyreek Hill when he's coming out of the slot. I do think the big question mark for the Chiefs going forward, and one of the things to watch, especially in this game, is does Mecole Hardman step up as the number 2 on that offensive side of the ball? I don't know. I don't really have a lot of faith in him, but we'll have to wait and see because Sammy Watkins is gone to Baltimore. And then on the defensive side for the Chiefs, that secondary, you're going to need to see an improvement from that secondary. While the defensive line has been really good at getting pressure on quarterbacks and stuff, the secondary has been somewhat mediocre. So if Baker Mayfield is able to hit his connections with Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, who's back now and healthy, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, if they're able to do that, if the two-headed monster in the backfield is able to run the ball and keep that offense off the field, Cleveland has a real shot here. I am really high on Cleveland this year. I do think that Cleveland is going to make noise in the AFC, but I just think the Chiefs had too much.
I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. I agree with you, Ish. I thought I was going to pick the Browns. And I think the Browns are a lot better than people think that they are, especially coming into this season. But with the Chiefs, of course, I just feel like they have a little too much at the moment. But more than anything, the Chiefs are proven, right? The Browns haven't proven anything yet. We're still trying to see the Browns take that next step. They did it last year, a little half step. But this is the year, So we have people that are voting for them, that are picking them to go to the Super Bowl this year. So this is a very interesting game for both teams. What I need to see from the Chiefs, though, more than anything, I need to see physicality on both sides of the ball because this is going to be a physical game. This is going to be one of them games. This is going to be one of them games where they wake up on Monday morning, they're going to be sore on both sides of the ball. Patrick Mahomes is going to get hit a couple times. That Browns defense will come after Patrick Mahomes, and it might look like the Super Bowl all over again with him running around all over the field. Maybe. But what I need the Chiefs to do, I need the Chiefs on both sides of the ball to bust the Browns in the mouth to show not just the Browns, but everybody else in the AFC that they are as physical as they were when they went to the Super Bowl that first year. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Packers-Saints, and I'm going to go ahead and read this quick little widget I just read on Bleacher Report because we are talking about the Packers. So shout out to Bleacher Report because they said the Russ and Rodgers drama is not over with. Apparently Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson could be trade candidates for this season. So that's very interesting to throw out there. Very interesting. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this game very, very briefly. And let's all remind everybody, because of the hurricane in New Orleans, this game will be played in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's something to take account for as well. Ish?
Yeah, for that reason, I have the Packers. I think that there's a lot going on with the Saints, and normally you would say maybe a team would bond together, rise up against the adversity. But I just think that there's too much leaning in the Packers' favor for this one. The Packers are going to be able to come in. You expect Aaron Rodgers to keep doing what he's doing. You expect this defense to put some pressure. I expect a lot of pressure, a lot of different looks from this defense, a lot of stemming pre-snap to get Jameis Winston to think that it's one coverage and then at the snap completely change it and put some pressure on him to make the throws. I think that that's what you're hoping. If you're New Orleans, you're hoping to get up early so that you're not putting all this pressure on Jameis, but I just don't see it happening. So for me, I got the Packers.
You know what Jameis going to do now? That boy going to read the field, baby. That's LASIK Jameis now. This is LASIK Jameis. And the reason why I'm picking the Saints, besides all this coming togetherness, all that crap, obviously it didn't work for LSU when they played UCLA, right? Yeah. Obviously it didn't work. But what's going to happen for Jameis and the Saints is this is going to be a game that everybody's going to be like, wow, maybe Jameis is actually pretty good. Because I'm all in on Jameis this year. I actually want to pick him as my MVP, but I'm still scared. So I'm going to wait till after this week to say, I'll wait till after this week to see how Jameis is looking, to be like, you know what? No, even MVP, I'm going to go ahead and throw him out there too. But for right now, I think Jameis is going to outduel Aaron Rodgers. Hear that again on XTalknIsh. Jameis Winston will outduel Aaron Rodgers in this game. Lorenzo Guy says comeback player of the year. He definitely can win that. But there are a lot of players out there that come back from ACL tears, like of course like an Odell Beckham or even Saquon Barkley that could be in that running as well too. So
Speaking of Saquon,
and thank you for that segue. Speaking of Saquon, Broncos in the G-Man. Ish, go ahead and take this one, please.
Yeah, I got the G-Men. I think that this is an important year for Daniel Jones. We got Saquon coming back. They've added weapons to that offense, so it's not going to be as boring to watch them anymore. I just think that for the Broncos, I like this defense from Denver. I think that Denver's defense is going to be good as they always are. The problem is you got Teddy Bridgewater as your quarterback. And Teddy Bridgewater, the one thing for me about him is he's just too safe. He plays too cautious. He doesn't make enough throws down the field to press that defense. And this Giants defense is a pretty good defense. So I expect it to be – I don't expect a high-scoring game. I expect a pretty low-scoring game, but I expect the Giants to squeak it out.
What we're not going to do, we're not going to disrespect Teddy Two Gloves on this dang show, all right? That's what we're not going to do. That's a franchise player for the Minnesota Vikings.
He's not a franchise quarterback.
It was, damn it. Okay?
He was.
It was. All right?
He's not anymore.
All right. He went 5-0 with the Saints when he came in and helped out that Saints team. And then Drew Brees, of course, messed it up in playoffs.
That's
another story for another day.
Carolina, huh?
That don't count. Okay? That's a mulligan. That's a mulligan. It don't count. But what counts now is this season. It counts now for Teddy Bridgewater and what he's going to do with this revamped Broncos offense. Look, you add Teddy Two Gloves to Mr. Jared Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. I'm not saying he's going to be throwing 400 yards.
Get the ball to them unless they run a 5-yard
You're being very disrespectful right now. I'm not going to allow this. You're being very disrespectful. And this is not like you, Ish, okay? This is not like you. You're better than this. Or you be disrespecting Teddy Two Gloves. What Teddy Two Gloves is going to do, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. And they're gonna win the game in the quote unquote the Meadowlands, aka MetLife, that has the little bubble in their field. He's gonna come into New Jersey and win this game.
September 11th, like Mojo or anything. They're playing in New York.
Not for the Giants.
Oh, but you give it to the Jets
because they actually have a damn good coach and a better quarterback. Again, I'm not calling Daniel Dimes on this damn show. Is Danny Jones or Danny Penny? One or the other. We're not doing no. Until he throws a damn dime, that's when I'll barely call. He's gonna move up to a nickel.
All right, let's move
But right now, he's a shiny penny. All right, let's go ahead and move forward with another pretty damn good game to watch out for too as well. Dolphins versus the Patriots. Ish. I'll go ahead and start this one off since I've let you going out and start off on the other topics. I think this is a very interesting matchup to watch out for because usually in previous seasons, you'll have the Dolphins come up to New England later on in the season when, of course, the weather has changed. First game of the season, weather should be mid-80s, comfortable for both teams. Mac Jones' first game as the, of course, starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. It's a lot of pressure, not even just on Mac Jones. This is a pressure season for Bill Belichick. I don't care what no one says. Tom Brady won his Super Bowl without Belichick. I ain't saying Belichick gonna win the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is, how good really is Mac Jones with you, Bill Belichick? How good are y'all together with your defense that came back off of the COVID list? Again, Mac Jones and we didn't talk about this last show, but Nelson Aguilar. He is one of the wide receivers that's on A. You can roll your eyes on you want to. I'm just saying that it's not going to be enough to beat the Dolphins. And so if we want to talk about, of course, last season, a top 10 defense that was last season with the Dolphins. I honestly think the Dolphins might be on the outside of top 10 this season. I think they regress just a little bit. But overall, with all of those ex-Patriot players on that Dolphins team, they're trying to come into New England and prove a little some as well, too. What it really comes down to more than anything is the play of Tua. Everything comes down to the play of Tua. We have these two Alabama quarterbacks playing against each other. Tua and Mac Jones, baby. So let's see how this works out. It's easy to do this when we're playing with all the best players in the country in college, Tua. Same way with you too, Mac Jones. We're going to see how both y'all look in a real NFL game week 1, baby.
I'm gonna keep it simple and sweet. This matchup was split last season with Cam Newton as starting quarterback, and I don't think that Mac Jones is a downgrade. I actually think he's an upgrade at the quarterback position. So I expect the Patriots to take care of business at home. This is a game you're supposed to win at home against a division rival. I think that Mac Jones is going to come out. They're going to keep it simple for Mac, let him move the ball down the field. This defense, remember, they had a lot of players opt out last year. They're going to have some players back. I expect them to be better on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm still not sold on Tua. Tua had, if you remember, last year, Tua had Fitzmagic come in at the end of some of those games to close
to bail him out
for him.
Like he Mariano Rivera or something.
So I just don't think I'm still not 100% sold on him as like a full-time starting quarterback because I haven't seen it from him. So I want to wait and see. I don't expect him to go into New England and win this game. If he does, that's a great win for the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. But I don't think it's going to happen. Mac Jones and the Patriots will win this one.
Ooh, I see you out there with the pronunciation, though. Tua Tagovailoa, I can get it too, baby. All righty then. Sunday night football game. Probably might be one of the best matchups of this weekend. It's going to be it's going to be a very interesting matchup because we don't know what we're going to get from the Bears. We know what we're going to get from Rams for the most part, hopefully. We got to see what the offense looks like with Matt Stafford. You talked about quarterback play with the last team. We just talked about the Patriots. I think it's an upgrade from Jared Goff to Matt Stafford. I know Matt Stafford's not a sexy name. I know he didn't do anything with the Detroit Lions, even though he had Megatron. I'm not going to count that against him, okay? Matt Stafford, if you see what he does on film, he is a hell of a quarterback, okay? I know he gets disrespected all the time because he wasn't able to win. Who wins in Detroit, okay? Who wins in Detroit? No one, okay? So we're not going to hold that against him. He's out of there. Let's see what Matt Stafford can do with this equipped offense and also the defense to help him out as well, which he's never probably had, even in Georgia. I'm pretty sure Georgia messed that up for him when he was playing out in Georgia as well. So, Ish, go ahead and take it from me.
So this is only kind of a good matchup, only because these are two great defenses. I'm excited about the defensive matchup. As a defensive guy myself, I really, really love to watch good defense, and this is a game for good defense. You got the Rams defense, the Bears defense. It's going to be nice to watch, especially when the matchup of the Rams offense versus the Bears defense. That's going to be a great matchup to watch because that's going to tell you a lot about this Rams team moving forward and just what noise they're going to be able to make. Again, it's only the first game of the season, but I do want to see, how they match up against a playoff caliber defense. Now, on the other side of the ball, come on. Andy Dalton is starting for the Bears. Like, the Rams defense is.
Look, you're gonna stop disrespecting Red Rifle, all right?
You gonna
stop disrespecting Red Rifle
matchup because I don't expect anything from Andy Dalton. I don't expect Andy Dalton to do anything. If Andy Dalton does anything, it will be a surprise to me. If he throw a touchdown, man, I swear somebody fell down or they messed up a call or something because I just don't see it. He was horrible.
You pushing for Justin Fields.
Oh, man.
You pushing for Justin Fields, it sound like.
I hope, what would make this a good matchup?
And that is?
If they pull Andy Dalton before at halftime or something and Justin Fields come in. That's what will make this a good matchup.
I knew you were going to say that.
With Andy Dalton in there, it's not a good matchup. This Bears offense, while they have some weapons on that offensive side, Andy Dalton just isn't the guy to lead them. I'm sorry. I am sorry to say it. Chicago fans, all of you should be praying, not for Andy Dalton to get injured, but for them to come to their senses and pull him as soon as possible.
Look, in the words of Andy Dalton, this is his team, okay?
Oh, good.
It's his time. All right.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Sure.
It's time to shine, all right? You gonna stop talking about the Red Rifle like that. Product of Katy, Texas, all right? Okay, you gonna stop that.
Yep. Hopefully he pulls a Tom Savage and his time only lasts like a half.
Shout out to Michael Lewis. He said Justin Fields should start. Should, but hey, that's we're here where we're at now. And like you said, it might be a Tom Savage situation where we see Deshaun Watson a little earlier than we expected, but hey, let's be real. That was a completely different thing. Deshaun Watson should be starting since day one. That's the whole. But
Justin Fields should be starting from day one.
I mean,
okay, yeah, because Andy Dalton showed us a lot.
Ohio State quarterbacks. I'm just saying, but We'll talk about that another day. I don't want to bring up them old Ohio State wounds from yesterday. We'll talk about that another day. All right, let's go ahead and preview the Monday Night Football game for today. We will also be on tomorrow during this halftime show. Just talk about very briefly about the game in the first half. We'll be on tomorrow as well. And we'll also, of course, recap Monday Night Football game, Sunday Night Football game, and, of course, the rest of the Sunday slate on Tuesday, our normal time, and, of course, our channel on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube here on XTalknIsh. So Monday Night Football, Ish, go ahead and start it off, baby.
Yeah, great matchup, Ravens-Raiders. I like to see it. I want to see how the Ravens are going to handle all this adversity that they have coming on their side. So many injuries. It has just been horrendous in Baltimore. I think at this point they shouldn't even practice in pads anymore. They should probably just do a walkthrough in shells or something. Which, like I said, a walkthrough, not even full speed.
Not even shell. You might need to do shirt and shorts.
Maybe something, because something is going on over there in Baltimore. And how they handle that adversity is going to be interesting to see against this Raiders team that is a decent side. Now, I know every year we talk about how up and down they are. We talk about how they only play against the Chiefs. But I do expect them to make this a good game. I expect them to really bring it. However, I just think there's too much on the Baltimore side. I think that Baltimore defense is going to step up against Derek Carr. They're going to make it a rough night for him. And then I do expect Lamar Jackson to be Lamar Jackson. I expect him to run it around, throw it to the tight end, and pull out a W on Monday Night Football week 1 and get things started, because there is going to be pressure for them in the AFC North. You got the Steelers. You got the Browns. I think this division is wide open this year. And you got to keep pace. So why not go out and beat the Raiders on the road just to, make a statement in week 1?
Now, to be completely honest, I was going to pick the Ravens to win this game. But because of all the injuries at the running back position, it's very hard for me to pick them right now, because I feel like, just me personally, Lamar and the new running backs are going to come in. They're going to have some time to gel. With handoffs,
their top running back is healthy.
I'm talking about Le'Veon Bell. I'm talking about Marcus.
He doesn't have to hand the ball to them. He's the top running back. He gonna run. He gonna run the ball for everybody.
Look, that Lamar crap, that high school, college crap, that's not gonna work that much longer in the NFL. The way I look at this offense with Lamar, it looks like Wildcat offense what the Miami Dolphins did against the Patriots. It worked once or twice, and after that, that crap has gotten shut down. Okay, it works from time to time, but okay, we're gonna stop all that.
Every other Sunday he can throw.
Okay,
still.
thank you. The point that I'm getting at is, just like we talked about earlier with the Chargers going to the East Coast, this is an East Coast team going to the West Coast, and let's also remind everybody. This is the first time the Las Vegas Raiders is going to be playing in front of fans in their new beautiful dome of a stadium that they have in Vegas. That stadium is going to be rocking, and I definitely agree. And I definitely feel like with the help of the fans, it's going to help the Raiders team and Raider Nation rally together. And I'm taking them to win tonight. I don't know what the hell they're going to do the rest of the season, but for Monday Night Football, I apologize. They're going to win that game. And there's going to be a lot more, of course, talk about the Raiders, this, that, and the third, and they're going to crumble. I'm just being honest. They're going to find a way to mess it up because of John Gruden. But at the end of the day, the Raiders, I think they take care of business at home. Michael Lewis also said, let Ish know there is 3 backs out and 2 defensive players are out with COVID.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Is still there. Mark Andrews is still there.
Uh-oh.
All right. That's all they need.
All righty then. All right, Ish, before we get up out of here for today, give the people a couple matchups to watch out for today.
The matchups that you want to watch out for, really for me, I just think, like I said, the Bears defense versus the Rams offense, that's going to be a really good matchup to watch out for. You want to watch out for the Packers and the Saints. Jameis and how he plays against that Green Bay defense. That is pretty much a playoff game week 1 for New Orleans, just to kind of make a statement there. So you definitely want to watch how Jameis plays, because if he plays well, look out in the NFC if Jameis plays well. If Jameis Winston is on his game, It could be a long year. And then, of course, the Chiefs and the Browns. That, again, potentially could be an AFC championship game.
Could be.
That is a big matchup. That Chiefs offensive line versus the Browns defensive line. How do they perform? And that the Browns secondary versus the Chiefs wide receiver and tight ends. You want to see, is that secondary able to hold up? Because if they are, and they're able to match the play of that defensive line, wow, the Browns. It could be the year of the Browns.
Could be. It definitely could be. I'll go back to the game we talked about earlier. I want to see this Chargers versus Washington football team game. I want to see if Justin Herbert is able to take that next step. I want to see if Washington football team is able to take that next step. Both of these teams, I think, is very interesting to watch. I'm going to go with a not sexy game as well. The Jets versus Panthers. Rub your head all you want to. I think this is a game that we have to look out for, again, for both teams. Can the Jets surprise us this season? Can the Panthers be better than what people expect them to be with Sam Darnold? A lot of people don't believe in Sam Darnold. It's completely understandable what he did.
Making the playoffs.
Neither team are making the playoffs, but it's going to be a very interesting matchup to watch out for. And my last game to watch out for is the Steelers versus the Bills. We expect the Bills, maybe, like you said, with the AFC championship, it should be an AFC game matchup with the Browns and Chiefs. Don't forget about the Bills. The Bills are right there, too. Maybe it could be Bills, Chiefs, Bills, or Browns, right? So, and then also with the Steelers. The Steelers have a lot of question marks. This is not the same Steelers at all. So, it's a lot of great games from the first slate, from the 12 o'clock slate if you're in Houston, or, of course, you're on the East Coast, 1 o'clock, to the 4:30 games. It's going to be a hell of a Sunday. We appreciate y'all for real, NFL, for getting this week 1 matchups, down, except for the 49ers and Lions game. For the most part, we appreciate everybody. And we appreciate everybody as well for tuning in for XTalknIsh, our pregame show. Again, join us on Monday night to talk about the halftime show. And then, of course, on Tuesday night to talk about the recap for all the games for the rest of the week. Ish, we here, baby. Week 1. I'm about to go in and get ready to watch these games, and I'll see you soon, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Hey, I'll see you soon, sir. Hopefully, with all these dubs in my pocket.
I doubt it. All right. Like I said, as always, please make sure everybody like and share this broadcast, and we will see y'all on Monday. All right, then. Thank you, Ish. See y'all next time.